Dun, 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 dun.
Based on a first watch of the trailer for Cherry, I will say this is a very compelling movie. I've seen a couple reviews saying that it's really not the best, but quite frankly, I don't care. I try to not let other people's opinions sway me, especially with movies that could have so much potential. When I see something in a trailer that I'm like, this is really good, I usually end up watching it to try it out. Cherry had that, and I've been a longtime fan of the traditional, we've seen it before in how many different types of movies, veterans coming home from war and experiencing PTSD and whatnot, the types of things that they, bring back from the battlefield and making that transition to normal life. It's a hard journey, and I think the trailer, at least on the initial, really stressed that. Now, it very much was a new, dramatized account. It was a new story that they come up with because the guy played by Tom Holland, if I remember right, he was in a store robbery or something. He's going through a dark time. That certainly shows, but I think this film, again, has massive potential, at least in my book. Now, I hear, again, dissuading voices from that, but I'm going to make up my own mind. And plus, again, this is another Apple TV program, and there's some serious stuff on their platform. It's not bad. Let's take a look at this new A Veteran's Journey featurette. There's a lot of featurettes for the show, but I chose this one specifically on the fact I think the PTSD element was so strongly communicated in the first trailer. And it was really something that I respected. We're going to watch this first, and we're going to talk about it more in my condensed version. Let's watch the video together. Okay, here we go. And plus the Russo brothers behind this, too.
Sometimes I feel like I've already seen everything that's going to happen. And it's a nightmare.
It surprises me how easy it is for Tom Holland.
This is a movie that's based upon a young man who
to shift really in terms of the way he looks in age, from Spider-Man to play that younger character to like a military soldier.
For the rest of the
he's still obviously young, but
comes back with undiagnosed PTSD.
It's an invisible infliction. People see someone with PTSD and go, "Oh, that guy's fine. He came home and he wasn't injured."
I have this noise in my head.
Not that easy.
It'll stop. One day it'll just go quiet.
I came home from Iraq in 2003. My family, friends, they had no idea really what was going on internally with me.
It's nice to hear real accounts.
It is very jarring to return to the civilian world.
You don't want to talk about it sometimes. You don't want to go through it again.
The medical system was unprepared to help Cherry with these issues.
How's your pain level?
9 out of 10.
Have you ever heard of Oxycontin?
And they misprescribe opioids, and that turns into a bad addiction.
Oh, of course.
That ends up turning
I didn't realize
into
that's something they did.
Living with PTSD took me to some pretty dark places. I was addicted to drugs and alcohol, and I spent a year of my life in prison. Every week there was a younger version of me walking through those doors.
We have
the impression I'm getting from the fact they're including real life accounts is to show that this particular program and the story is grounded in reality. Huge respect on that front.
There's about 3.3 million of us that served in Iraq and Afghanistan, and there are still far too many that do fall through the cracks. Sometimes they give up hope. That's why it's so important to tell these stories.
A movie like Cherry helps all of us to understand that it's okay to reach out for help. And we, as a country, can begin this healing process together.
I'm all behind that.
You're in for me.
I feel the same way.
It's part of the reason I've tried to give voice to this particular issue.
Of a bright future.
I believe this film is going to help people and get the struggle out to the masses.
They show the grit of not just combat, but coming back on the other side.
There are so many therapies that are out there where it's going to be different for all of us. We have to understand that. But hope is mandatory.
We have to do everything we can to make sure that we leave no one behind.
We owe it to the ones that did not come back to live a happy and healthy life.
The servicemen and women here today really are unparalleled, and we're indebted to them in every way. Sometimes I feel like I've already seen everything that's gonna happen. But for the first time, it didn't scare me.
As much as we might talk about PTSD these days and trauma, and we do, I love the way they ended that. That's a great reminder. Great reminder to remind people who are struggling, there is help out there. You're not alone in this. I really appreciate projects that try to bring especially this particular situation to light. And we see this, all the time in different war movies. This has been something, especially lately, the last couple of years I've seen films where a lot of them focus on veterans specifically from the PTSD trauma angle. And they're all, I think, very respectful in terms of their portrayal. It's nice to see, again, that they were stressing through real-life accounts. That's a great element to this particular featurette, by the way, but they included that depth. Something I would definitely say, I've seen this name like in music. There's been some really good accounts in terms, I actually mentioned this, I think, initially on the first trailer. Five Finger Death Punch, which is a band that I have a huge amount of respect for, actually. They put a music video out a couple years ago for their song Wrong Side of Heaven. Beautiful song, by the way, but the video in particular really gives you an eye-opening account into what veterans go through. Harrowing statistics, but beautifully portrayed. And I feel the same way. There's another song too. I didn't realize that you have doctors that, if that's true, but they're prescribing like opioids, like I think it said oxycodone or something like that. There's a lot of oxys, but I don't know which one in particular. That's bad. That's really scary. I mean, drugs don't really help, especially when you're dealing with like trauma that needs to be worked through from like a psychological standpoint. That only creates more problems. And then on top of that, you get people now addicted. It's not a solution. That really isn't. That's a very problematic direction to go. And to know that that possibly is happening in the medical system. But there's a song, actually that opioid part reminded me specifically of, there's another song in particular. I think it's by Fro the Fight, I think is their name. I think the song's called Bury Me Alive. They have a song, though, that the video is centered around a veteran. It's actually a really good song, beautifully orchestrated, if you're into like rock music and stuff. But the video, it's hard to stomach because, again, this is an issue that people need to know about. I don't think we know about it, to the degree that we should. I know PTSD, we talk about it quite often, but in terms of illuminating the journey that people, going to war have to, struggle with, I'm very grateful that we have projects that are putting out another message about PTSD, and that there is, these are real stories that people coming home from war, they have this type of experience, and people need to know about it. I think there's serious potential here. I'm very impressed with what I'm seeing for Cherry. I will definitely watch the film, even if other people are like, it's not that great of a movie. I have a soft spot for PTSD type stories, especially for people coming home from war, or, in whatever service that they're dealing with where PTSD or CPTSD might be a product of the job. This is great. I'm very impressed that the movie is actually giving credit in that regard. What do you guys think about Cherry? Let me know down below. Maybe some of you, because the fact I'm covering this late, some of you might have already seen it. Let me know what your thoughts are down below. Don't forget to get stuff, like, subscribe, that bell. Until we get to look at more trailers in the future, probably not for Cherry. I believe that the show is out now. But I did want to give it another glance because I think that featurette, just in fact, that's mentioning veterans, that was something on a very good note. But I'm very impressed so far. But whatever trailer we get to watch together next, I'll see you guys at that point. But for now, thanks for watching this video. I love you guys. Don't forget to love yourselves, your fellow man. God bless, and peace.